I'm eyeing the time right now, so I'm just gonna do
Yes.
one more brief question. Um,
Yeah.
I guess, how did all this work? How did all your experience tail into your work with academic life in emergency medicine? I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Yeah, ALIEM, I
ALIEM.
guess,
You okay with
dot
me?
com. So, along the way, when Brent and I were just, he was still just working on boarding EM, and I, he was doing a sim fellowship, um, at Harvard, with the Center for Medical Simulation. He had a lot of free time because he wasn't doing a lot of clinical that year, and I was a new staff, and I was trying to make my way in the world, and so we started having a conversation at one of our national conferences, and he declared that he wanted to convince the world that digital scholarship was scholarship. And I was like, okay, fair. But looking around this room, we were at a consensus conference about educational scholarship. This group is going to need us to publish a couple of papers to convince them. Um, so I'm doing my master's. If I can be of help to you, email me. So he did. And we worked on our first paper. We recruited Michelle Lynn, who was the editor in chief of Academic Life and Emergency Medicine. We just basically fangirled her and fanboyed her and said, "We love your work and we're big fans of the work that you do. Would you be a senior author on this project with us?" And so that was the first project I worked on with Fred. It publishes in a little no name journal called The Winnower that's been bought out by Orthea now. But it still exists and that paper still is out there. And we looked at as basically a scope and review of educational and digital educational resources to really show that like this is a true thread in education scholarship, that the digital is still education scholarship. That spurred on a conversation with Michelle where we pitched her some ideas. We then ran something called the Medic series for Michelle as volunteers within our organization called the Medical Education and Cases series. And that ran for 5 years. And Fred eventually subbed in. We brought in someone new as a co-leader, Tamara McCall from Manitoba. We had a whole team. We would just basically do massive online PBL. So we'd launch a faculty development medical education case online, and then we would discuss on Twitter or in the blog comments. And then we would actually have expert commentaries about that case, and then do a digest of the proceedings from the consensus kind of discussions. And we would spin that around. It used to be a week, then became 2 weeks into an educational package that faculty could download for free, and actually just use. Those then spun into annual kind of review books that you can download as also for free, um, for from the from the Academic Life and Emergency Medicine or ALIEM library. So if you go to aliem.com/library, you can see the 5 medic books. And then we also have other free ebooks that you can check out. There's also the what was I going to say? The actual cases. If you want to look at each case, they're all like little handouts that you can use for faculty development if you're someone who is trying to raise the bar for education. And it's just aliem.com/medic, MEDIC. And then you can see all the cases. There's like 48 cases or something like that. It pisses me off that there's not 50, so we might do some anniversary edition ones. I don't know. Anyway, so those cases are now all available for free to anyone who wants to do faculty development, small group learning, things like that, because they have a case. You could then have a small group discussion, and then you have your debriefing content. We made it easy for lots of teachers to just use these. And so that's how we became involved with ALIEM. And we went on to volunteer other things. I helped then with another initiative called the ALIEM Faculty Incubator. And that program I helped build with the NIDAS team of 3 people and triumvirate, I guess. Michael Gottlieb is still within the structure, Lena Yaris and I have both kind of quote unquote graduated, but we planned for the succession so that I would actually be obsolete in 5 years, and I got out in 6. So I'm going to take that as a win. And so the Alien Faculty Incubator now runs with my minimal advice and support as a senior advisor because they didn't want me to completely disappear. I just pipe in like, the emeritus professor at rounds that asks that awkward question once in a while and adds some wisdom. And so that's kind of my functionality in that group. But that group has been running an international incubator for faculty. I think we're in the 6th cohort, selecting the 7th now. And so the idea would be that that group every year publishes an ebook about education theory. They also do a whole learning experience for a year in the digital asynchronous format. So it really easily flipped over into pandemic life, let's just put it that way. But has been a way for people to network and grow their scholarly identity and do that professional identity formation and really support faculty in doing um, their work really well. And so that's another kind of initiative that we've developed, grown, and scaled. And should I stop doing this all for free? Probably. But now I have more of a institutional lens because I'm this associate dean of continuing professional development. So I'm taking all these lessons learned and trying to do something for my institution now that's a little bit different.
Honestly, I have no clue how you've done so much and had so much impact, but you've opened my eyes to a world of medical education that honestly deserves a little more of the spotlight and a little more of the cred because there's so much impact that the work that you've done there's so many ways in which it'll impact the lives of future medical educators and those who are pursuing academic lives in medicine. But I'm aware of the time. Usually I ask what time it is. I know it's 7:02 or my time. But
Mhm.
do you have any pluggables to plug? Any social media
Oh,
tags?
I'd definitely check out gridlockedgame.com if you're interested in finding out more about Gridlocked. There'll be links out for there for Triage's game, and then when we launch the other games, they will probably be um, on that platform as well. If you're looking to follow what I'm doing and see what next crazy thing I dream of and enact, and crazy in a good way, obviously, um, you can check out my Twitter handle at T.Chan I think on LinkedIn, also just T.Chan, so you can look for me there. I'm happy to connect. We're, doing something that's a little bit more in the continuing education space with my new role at McMaster. And so probably watch some of the space of our new office at McMaster. And if you're interested in joining the learning journey, there's definitely offerings that we have through our program for faculty development that are open access. We'll be doing some more open access content creation, hopefully in the next little while as well. So if you're a big fan of FOED, we're starting to, do foam fact dev and, um, and other kind of continuous learning content that's open access as well.
Awesome. And you can find How It's Med at How It's Med on LinkedIn and Twitter, as well as at howitsmed.com on the interwebs. Till next time.